My name's Alex with Elevation Corporate Health in Baltimore, Maryland, and we're going to just get started with some leg swings. I always like to start with these leg swings. We're going to do 10 to the front. Just try to get that heel a little higher with each one. And just focus on pointing that toe towards your chest in order to get a better stretch through your hamstrings and glutes. So 10 swings to the front, nice and tall. Just have something to hold on to on the side, and then we'll swing that leg to the outside, open the hips up. Same thing, keep that chest tall, and try to get a little higher with each swing. We'll be doing a lot of lower body movements, so we want to make sure that the hips are nice and open. I always like to start with leg swings. You can be doing a lot of squatting or really any lower body work. Let's get 10 swings to the side. Then we'll turn right around. Same thing. Heel nice and high. Big stretch through the hamstrings. Point that toe toward your chest. And focus mostly on that motion. Do 8 swings, 11 swings, rather than 10. Not a big deal. It's mostly about really getting that stretch through the hamstrings and the hips. Now right out to the side. As you're doing this, just try to feel your glutes activate if you can. And that can be difficult, so if you don't get it doing this leg swing, you want to use the glutes to lift the leg. But if you don't get it, don't worry. Something to work on as you do more training, but just try to really feel that glute if possible. Right there. Now we're going to drop it right down into our tall plank. We're just going to get 5 spider-hand lunges per foot. So I'm just going to take my knee, drive it out, and then try to get that foot to land as close to the knee as possible. Hold your plank as you return the leg. I'm just going to get 5 steps per foot. On that 5th one, so right here, drop that back leg down, and just try to settle in to let that hip of the planted foot open up. I'm just going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that back leg up, return the leg, do the same thing right on the other side. Drop that leg down, the shoulder blades down together. Open up that planted hip. 10, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's bring it right up into 10 bodyweight squats. Just focus on getting a little more range of motion with each one. We're going to sit down, drive the knees out, and then drive up. Drive the knees out, drive up. Now as we're doing the workout that we're about to get into, there will be exercises that are going to be single leg exercises. They can all be done with both legs instead of one leg at a time. And you'll just do a few more reps as you're doing it. Then I'll explain as we go through the workout. So let's just get 3 more squats. 3. Open up the hips. 2. Open up the hips. And 1. Now let's get big arm circles forward. So as you're doing those arm circles, try to pull the shoulder blades down and together as the arms reach back. And just try to get about 10 big circles. So we go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll do the same thing in reverse. Try to get those shoulder blades down as the arms come down. Really focus on that motion of the shoulder blades. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. So now we're going to start, as I said, with a single leg exercise, but these will all be done with both legs. We're going to do 2 rounds per leg. So if you do a double leg, just go through 4 rounds on both legs. I'll show the 3 exercises that we're going to string together, and then we'll skip through it. So here I'm going to start in my quadruped position, and I can do this with both legs. I can just go into a leg extension here, which is fine. If that feels comfortable, do that. Or get one leg back, go into my leg extension from there. So I'm just lifting up my body weight. Then we're going to go into a get up. So I'm just going to sweep that leg around, back down, and around. After we do that, we'll go into our single leg deadlift. And try to focus on moving at the hips. So we're gonna do 8 for each round. So start on either both legs or one leg, whatever you plan to do. If you can't get 12 reps, do anywhere from 8. Even if you only get 6, do as many as you can with the workout. So let's get started with 12 reps on that leg extension. 8 to 12 feet. So just gonna drive down. Just hold that descent. And just focus on pushing that foot into the floor. Keep that upper body engaged. 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's not going to go right in that get up on the same leg. If you're doing this with, if you started on one leg, this is the only one that you'll really have to alternate legs. This is the only one that really can be done as a double leg exercise. The thing is driving that foot through the ground, and as you're coming up, this back foot, it can stay planted, make it a little easier, get a little help from that back leg, or as you're coming up, that back leg can come off the floor as soon as you lift, and can stay off the floor until you go back down. And that'll make it a little bit more difficult, just because you're not getting any help from that back leg. One more here, and just do as many as you can. If you can't do 12, that's fine. When we go into that single leg deadlift, if you want to use something for balance, or if you need to do a double leg deadlift, either one's fine. All right, to finish out your get-ups, now we're going to sit that hip back, think of pivoting around the hip, try not to let the chest drop forward. You want it to go down, but in the same horizontal plane. So front to back, keep it in the same position. Again, you can do this double leg with just your body weight. Try to feel that stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes. This can turn so you can see it a little more easily. That hip goes back, hip comes forward. Hip goes back, hip comes forward. And nice and controlled on that descent, as powerful as you feel comfortable on that concentric motion. So, driving that hip through, thinking of squeezing the glute, not lifting my spine, just thinking of squeezing that glute and bringing it through. 3 more, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we'll go on to the other leg. So we're going to start with that right leg, and then we'll keep doing the double leg version. That's fine as well. I'm just going to drive that foot right through the ground. Keep up the best pace you can. Rest as necessary for yourself. So sweep this leg around, drive up, and back down. Sweep this leg around, drive up. And even on this, I'm thinking of driving that foot through the floor and bringing that hip through. And all your lower body motion occurs at the ankle, knee, and the hip. So those joints should be moving. You want your spine to be staying relatively stable. And for most of our lifting exercises in general, the ankle is rather passive. You don't do a ton of lifting. Obviously, we're doing calf raises. We do, but in general, the ankle joint is rather passive when lifting. Obviously, very active in sports. 3 more here, and Work on that single leg deadlift. Then we just have 2 more rounds. 1 per leg. Work 2 more on each leg. Bring that single leg deadlift on the right side. Get back. Hip drives through. Hip back. Hip drives through. And these kind of complexes are good for putting a lot of stress throughout the entire lower body, using just your body weight, and still being able to get plenty of resistance. Notice how I feel that glute stretch. Again, do whatever rep count works for you. Nice. Let's go back to the leg that you started with if you're doing single leg burpees. It's hot here in Baltimore today too. Good. Right back to our get up. Last set on this leg. You should be doing this one single leg no matter what. But feel free to keep that back foot planted longer if you need to. Remember it through. And to any number of degrees, just try to get that back foot up as soon as you can. And that's just because of a not planted leg. Can't produce any force. So the sooner it comes up, the less it's eating, the leg needs to move. Or whatever count works for you. Some upper body work after this. That's a little more complex. Onto that single leg deadlift, no rounds on the right leg, or your final 2-leg round. Really keep that motion about the hips. When you're at the back, don't think of lifting yourself. Think of squeezing the glute and feel how that brings it forward. The glute just stretches across these 2 joints on the working leg. And when it shortens, just bring that head forward. Stretches, shortens. Stretches, shortens. Let's get 1 more. Good. Right to the final round of this complex. Then we'll be preparing some push-ups and bodyweight rows. And there are variations we can do with those, so do not worry if you think push-ups are hard, or if you think you can't do them, you can do some version of them. Let's get started. I guess I should stop stalling for time. Let's just do this. Notice I'm lifting my hip, lifting my actual hip. In all cases, what we're really trying to do with any bodyweight training is lift our center of mass. Going right through your navel, right through the middle of your midline, that's roughly the center of mass is for the weight's balanced evenly about that point. So in all cases, that's what you want to be lifting. A few exceptions. But but you're better off with that as a leader. We will be doing the bodyweight row next, and that is an exception to that one. I'll explain it again. Finish out this get up, 5 more reps. And then our last single leg deadlift. And we'll come back and get the lower body again. On that final single leg deadlift, hip stretches about these 2 joints. Well, 1 joint, 2 rows. And your knee is slightly bent the entire time when you're doing any deadlift. I'll explain the importance of that after the set when it gets water. Big one. And I want to finish out whatever you need. So when you're doing a deadlift, you always want to have, or anything that's hip dominant, the knee should always be slightly bent, because when that leg is flexed, the quad, the muscle on the front of your leg, the muscle that extends your knee, is flexed. When you say it, it sounds odd. But when that's flexed, it turns off the muscle that flexes the knee. It just turns off the muscle and does the opposing motion. So when that hamstring is turned off while you're trying to do a hip dominant movement, it's just going to push your spine. Okay, so hopefully you got some water. We're going to start with our push-up, and let's just start with a basic push-up. From the toes or from the knees. Doesn't matter. We'll do 3 rounds of increasing difficulty. This is going to be our basic one. And what I want you to do is start no matter what, whether it's from the knees, start from the dead stop each time. The reason is that you should be able to feel that hip come off the ground as soon as you start pressing, because that's what is going to make sure the center of mass actually lifted, and that you're not doing something like that. Deadlifting with the neck. It's an exaggerated version of a common mistake, but it is a common mistake. So let's just get started. 8 to 12 push-ups. Knees are toes. Center between chest. And come right up. Right foot right under our backs after this. Right onto our backs. So when we do our row, try to think about either the concept rower that you have at the gym, if you have a rowing machine, or a skateboard, or even a dumbbell row, where you're pulling back. You have your biceps obviously, but also that motion control. The spine weight row just isolates that motion at the shoulders. So I'm just going to ride those elbows into the ground. Lift that chest up. You can also pivot around the heels and lift your hips up, but that's going to be a lot harder. Do whatever works. I'm just going to pivot around my hip and lift my chest. And you see this is the one case where I'm not lifting the center of mass, but not a very strong position. So lifting just your chest is enough. Just try to get 12 here. I think I'm driving the elbows into the floor. More, then I'm right under my stomach. Alright, now when we do the push-up again, keep it from the toes or from the knees, either one's fine. And if you can't do what I'm about to show, just do regular kneeling, but if you can do it, then let's get it. So we're going to go through 4 rounds of the follow. So we take one arm, extend that out, and now I'm just going to do my push-up. Okay, bring this arm in, do another take the other arm, that's going to be off the camp right now. Extend that one, and then you're. That's 1 round. We'll do 4. So let's get through it. Come on, just do 12 push-ups, 8 to 12. If you have a problem with this. Feel free to do this prone. Your knees. Obviously isolating that working arm. This one should not be doing much. One more round of each. Nice work. Go right into our backs. On this set, we're gonna hold that row at the top of the movement. Just try to drive those elbows into the ground. You're gonna do 10 reps. Final one, great 10 count at the top. So 10, count along with me for this one. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay on your backs. What we're gonna do now is going to be a boat hold from a plank. So that's not really gonna mean much, just saying it, let me demonstrate. So I'm gonna start with the leg extended, arms extended, all off the floor. We're gonna do 6 reps of this, because we're getting a good hold at the top. Let me just show you. So out here, drive up, then just gonna hold. And you don't have to count it out. Try to hold from anywhere for 2 to 4 seconds. Then I'm just gonna go back down, up, and hold. I didn't hold that one too well. Try to do better, more like what I did the first time. Let's get started. 6 reps. Out, hold, back out, hold. Just hold to the best of your ability. Hold. 3 more. Good. Bring it back up. Now, we're gonna go back into our squat. Do the best you can with this. It gets harder toward the end than it sounds like it might be. What we're gonna do is just 20 squats, but here's how we're gonna do it. I want you to sit down as low as you can. Come part of the way up, but don't lock your legs. Go right back down. Just try to hold the bottom position of each rep for a brief 1 to 2 count. Doesn't need to be long, just make sure you pause. So I'm gonna follow me. Down, part way up, back down, part way up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's finish off with one more exercise, and then we're gonna stretch. So take one of your arms, and we're gonna work one arm, use the other one as resistance. So I'm just gonna take 3 fingers, bring this outside my wrist. If that goes too hard, just use 2 or 1. If you need more, you can push with the whole hand. I'm just gonna come up, push myself back in. You can use a number of fingers against your wrist and your barometer. Here's 4. We're gonna go to 8. More. Same thing on the other arm. So a little manual resistance is a good technique to have in your repertoire. Deep here. 2 hard as you can. Good. So when you're doing that, you can do that with anything. You can do that with a curl. You can do that even with a press. I press against myself. The downside is it's hard to measure, but the upside is you can get a lot of resistance out of that, and it should match your strength level. So when you're doing any exercise, however hard I can press, assuming I'm well balanced, and that can be a problem if you're stronger pressing than you are rowing, then this can help work on that, but it can also make it a little bit less, it can make it a little more difficult to get a row workout this way. But I should be able to pull against my hand with the right amount of resistance. I'm assuming that row is well balanced. So good technique down in the toolbox, but that's it for today. We're gonna stretch and then we'll be done. Let's lace the fingers together, push the palms up, pull the shoulders back, try to open up that chest. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Push back into the hips, and then drop those hands down on your knees. Push, knees back straight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Turn the toes out slightly. Walk down to the hands or just hand to the feet. So the weight back into the heels. Pull the shoulders back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And let's drop right down on the hands and knees. When you do this, if you do a lot of yoga, it's going to be a little different than the cat to cow, which is a great exercise, but this is just a little different. We work on something slightly different when I do this. So we're going to keep that lower back locked and try to spread just the shoulder blade back, rather than letting that go back flat. This is a good exercise too. But try to separate your upper and lower spine. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and as reversing, pull the shoulder blades down. Try to dig the palms into forward toward the hips. Try to feel the lats flex. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And flip right up your back. Now some more leg over the opposite knee. Into your whole creep by your legs. We're going to get as tight to the chest as you can without letting the tailbone come up. And hold 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Regular side. Same thing, neat and tight. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. All right. Well, thank you guys.